The Cayo Perico heist is the best way of making money in Grand Theft Auto Online, and while people try to debate that, they are wrong. This is the fastest and easiest way to make millions in the game, and if you don't want to deal with the cooldown, you can simply do what I'm doing right now, which is swap to your secondary character and start it up all again, banking the money. In today's video, I am going to be showcasing multiple ways that you are possibly making mistakes when doing the Cayo Perico heist, and how to fix those mistakes and earn even more money faster. The first mistake brings us to literally starting up the Gather Intel mission. Normally, a lot of people when starting up the Gather Intel mission will instantly head over either to their Sparrow or whatever vehicle they have at the location. And this is the wrong way of doing the heist, because you have to remember that wherever your submarine is might not be where the location is. We are currently located at Vespucci, and the game wants me to go to Palito Cove for the destination. Instead of driving or flying across the entire map to get to the destination, simply go to the driver's seat of the submarine. And once you are in the seat, fast travel to the location. This is much faster. We can see I'm going to scroll, and there you go, Palito Forest. It's $2,000 to fast travel once you have completed the heist for the first time, and it is literally multiple times faster than any other mode of transportation you can think of. Even using the F-160 Raiju, it is much faster to simply fast travel. We can already see that I'm at the location. It's only been about, what, 20 seconds? It is just so fast to do this, especially if you're in an invite-only lobby like I am. And now you can head to your Sparrow, which is in the back of the sub, or leave and call out a personal vehicle. It's just a much faster way of getting from point A to point B. The second mistake is actually a two-parter. We have pathing and searching for targets when actually doing the Gather Intel mission. Personally, I believe that if you are searching for targets, it's the biggest waste of time you can ever do. Usually what you'll see people do is they'll check the hangar, and if there's not coke there, they'll check the area next to it. And if there's not coke there, they'll make their way down this road, and they'll take a look over here. And if there's nothing they want there, then they'll go to the next area over here, and they'll search the lockers here, and here, and here. And then they'll decide where they want to go and grab the secondary targets accordingly. This is the biggest waste of time you can possibly have. Not only because you're trying to avoid guards this entire time, make your way throughout the island on a little motorcycle. This is literally going to take you 10-15 minutes to do, but as well, it's just a waste, because then once you're actually grabbing the secondary targets, you have to avoid all the guards, make sure if you kill any, that a motorcycle or a jeep isn't going to pick up the dead bodies and alert El Rubio. Just an absolute waste of time. What you want to do is just grab whatever the secondary targets are that spawn either inside of the hangar or over in the opposite area from the hangar. And I'll be showing this later in the video, but this is always the best option, mainly because of the fact you don't have to worry about guards and the fact that it's way easier to just fill your bag and leave. The second thing that I want to talk about is pathing. See, a lot of inexperienced players when doing the Cayo Perico heist will follow a route like this. They'll go down this road here, and they'll keep going, and they'll keep going, and then once they make it to this area, they'll kind of cut through and get to the communications tower. And this is a big mistake. You are going to be wasting a lot of time doing this. Instead, what you want to do, well, let's just start a new path over here. So what you want to do is you want to cut through off-road like this, and then you want to take this route here. This alone is going to save you a lot of time. You're not going to have to deal with guards, and instead of going all the way around, you're cutting through in the off-road pathing. And then, instead of trying to cut through the tower here, there's a really dangerous tower that'll detect you half the time. You have to make it through a gate. It's a big waste of time. Instead of doing that, you're just going to cut right across here. You're going to go around. You're going to jump over the wall, and then you're going to cut back to the same path. This second route is way faster and easier than the first route I've showcased, and I'll be showing you right now. So obviously you're going to want to use a motorcycle. This is the best mode of transportation around the island. And as I said, we're not going to search any secondary targets. We're going to ignore that. Searching for secondary targets is literally a huge waste of time. All you want to do is drive off-road right as I drew on the map before, and you're going to take this path here. It doesn't really matter which path you take. Just be careful not to drive into any bushes, because some of them, for some reason, have hitboxes and will knock you off the motorcycle. Then you're going to jump right down to this road below here, and you are going to simply break through the gate because it's unlocked, go around all the cameras that you normally would have to deal with, and then cut right back onto the road. This is where you have to be a little careful. First of all, we can see that there is a vehicle making its way through, but that's not too much of a big deal. We're just going to wait for that vehicle to pass. Then we're going to cross to the other side of the road, and we're simply going to ramp up this little wall right here, and this is what I was talking about. You're just going to give it a little bit of power, ramp over the wall, and congratulations. You've now skipped all of that mayhem there, and you don't have to deal with any of it. Then you can just drive up this little cliff, past the camera, and make your way to the communications tower. You can see just how much easier this is than doing the original path that you might have thought was faster. When on the cameras to see what your target is, always make sure to check the office cameras. And this is going to give you a lot of information. For example, we can see I have a painting inside of the office. And this means I only have to fill half of my bag over at the hangar, and then I can actually just grab the painting if I need to, which will fill the other rest, which is obviously really, really nice. Once you have figured out what your primary target is, and you're done with the cameras, the game is going to tell you continue scoping the island or return to Los Santos. And normally, people are going to go all the way back over to the plane, and then they're going to leave. That is an absolute waste of time. Make sure that on preferences, your spawn location is set to the Kosatka. Then all you're simply going to do is press online, go to find new session, and invite only lobby. And just like that, instead of going all the way back to the plane, we are now going to teleport right inside of our sub, which saves so much time because we are ready to start up the next mission. When stealing the Longfin, if you don't own a Phantom Wedge, this is completely fine. Just don't make your way to the further location. This here is always an armored Phantom Wedge, and then these two trucks over here are just normal trucks, and we can see that by driving through this fence here. Now, the reason why you always want to make sure that you are grabbing the normal trucks is because of the fact you don't even need to worry about cops when doing this mission, and you'll see why in just a moment. So just steal one of the normal trucks if you don't have the ability to, call in a Phantom Wedge like some more experienced players can. After stealing the trailer, the game is going to tell you to lose the cops, and it's going to try and waste your time. And this is where you'd say, oh, well, using the Phantom Wedge is better. Well, that's not really the case. You see, there's a very easy way to lose the cops. It's called get a sticky bomb and dead. And there you go. Congratulations. You have now lost the cops. And as we can see, I don't have the cops. So, simply all we need to do is run back over to the truck cab, deliver it at the location, and we are done with this mission. You can see how this is a lot easier than driving the Phantom Wedge, dealing with the cops all the way until you get to the docks, and then trying to lose them over there. After delivering the Longfin to the docks, the game is going to say heist prep complete, Longfin delivered. At this point, we're going to do, once again, another fast travel, and this is a mistake players make. They'll call out some sort of vehicle to go inside of their Kosatka. Don't do this. As long as you have your spawn location set to the Kosatka, the game is just going to teleport you right inside if you load into a new invite-only lobby. And there you go. That took, what, 10 seconds? And I'm already inside of my boat. Plus, if my Sparrow was already being used somewhere outside, it's going to spawn it right back in, which is also really, really nice. This brings us to one of the biggest mistakes I see players making, which is the gather weapon mission. We are going to do Crackshot, and as you'll notice, the game says go to Merryweather HQ. It is an absolute waste of time to go to Merryweather HQ and then wait 18 years for the helicopter to fly from point A to point B. It literally takes about 10 minutes just to follow the helicopter. I hate life when I get that mission. There's a very easy fix, and you've already seen me do it. Simply press start, go to online, find a new session, invite only, just like we've done in the past to fast travel, and this is going to completely skip the mission. Now, when I say skip, I don't mean you don't have to do it. I mean, you're still going to have to start up the gather weapons again, but hopefully, it's going to give you a different option. So if we do weapon loadout, we do Crackshot again, well, looks like we gotta load into a new lobby. And trust me, you might be saying, oh, isn't it a little tedious to load into a new lobby over and over? Well, I can tell you for a fact that it's a lot more tedious to follow a helicopter flying at about 10 miles an hour and then have to kill a bunch of guards and then parachute out of the Avenger to then go all the way back to the sub. Third time's the charm. Let's hop on prep weapon loadout and Crackshot. And this time, as we can see, it's bringing me to 707 Vespucci. And this is a much easier mission to do. We just have to fly to the rooftop of a building, grab the weapons, and fly back to our submarine. Another common mistake that a lot of YouTubers really don't shed enough light on, at least in my opinion, is demolition charges. You see, when starting the prep missions and you go to equipment, the first option is demolition charges, and it says prep mandatory. When I first started doing the Cayo Perico heist, I did this mission because I thought you had to get the demolition charges. However, that is not the case. You can actually completely ignore the demo charge mission and simply do the cutting torch, and it will work as the exact same way. What's crazy as well is that the demo charges will alert the guards when you blow them up, where they won't even alert anything if you use a cutting torch. So whatever you do, don't get the demolition charges. When grabbing the cutting torch, always put on a hard hat. It takes 2 seconds to do, and the moment you put on the hard hat, the guards will no longer aggro to you. And we can see that right now. Oh god, that's not what I wanted, but I think we're fine. Yeah, don't mind me at all. But as you can see, we can run past all these guards here. It doesn't matter if you walk in front of them or not. They are not going to really get mad at you at all, so you have the freedom to check every single crate for the cutting torch. At this point, you should be ready to start up the heist. I mean, yeah, you got to do other preps like the plasma cutter, but for the most part, they don't really involve that much effort, and a couple tips and tricks here aren't going to save you all too much time when completing them. Now, if you remember what I said before, you only want to focus on the airstrip when doing these missions, and that is why I really like the crack shot build, because you can pull out your sniper and, well, pop the guy in the head from a distance, rather than having to go up to him and actually worry about alerting guards at all. Once you've cleared that guard, all you're going to do is hop inside of the airstrip. And look at that. We already have one spawn of weed right in front of us. And up top here, we have cash and what appears to be nothing. So we have cash and weed. But that's completely fine. All we need to do is grab the weed because we already have a painting inside of the office. So we're going to grab the weed. And then we're going to head upstairs after that. We're going to grab enough cash that it looks like our bag is half full, and we should be fine. Just in case you didn't know about this trick, if you grab the forklift, you can pick up these crates, and then you can place them right on this wall here, and then all you need to do is climb on the back of the forklift, and then ta-da, you are now able to climb over this little fence here and grab the second targets that are up top. As we can see, there's only cash, but that's already more than we need. Because we already have the painting in the main compound, we're able to grab this cash, and that is going to make our bag about 50% full. And even if we didn't have the painting in the main compound, we still would have been fine, because there is another spawn of loot just across the road that we could also go to if we really needed to. And in fact, I'm not even going to grab the painting. I'm going to show that spawn just because it's a little bit important in case you don't know how to get there. So as you can see, if we make our way across this road here, there's going to be a guard, and this guard doesn't really matter. We're not going to worry about him right now. All we're going to do is we're going to jump right over this fence, and we're going to climb on top of this building. The major reason why is, first things first, you want to clear this guard right here. Nobody sees this guard. He's a very, very important pickup. Then what you want to do is you want to clear this camera right there. Doing these two things is going to save you really all the effort you're going to need. Then all we're going to do is burn through this lock right here. And thank you very much. And after burning through the lock, we can grab targets that are also placed in this area. So we can see that there are more targets, being weed and cash. Again, incredibly easy to do this, and it really doesn't matter what loot you get. You always have enough to completely fill your bag. So as we can see, even with only cash and weed, we still have $380,000, which is only a little bit of a difference compared to what you normally would get anyway, even if you had coke. So now we just run all the way back over to our boat and head over to El Rubio's compound. The reason I always choose to do this pathing when it comes to getting loot is very simple, and it's because of the fact that Rockstar has made it so that guards can detect dead bodies. And it's very, very annoying, should I say, to have to deal with all of the guards and all the bodies that you're going to kill when it comes to especially main compound. You have to have that pathing down like a freaking beat. And if you mess up any moment and a Jeep or something sees the dead body, well, it's going to be an absolute pain for you. So because of that, the method I choose is a lot easier. And as I always say, if you can get something done and it takes a couple more seconds, but there's no mistakes, at the end of the day, it's going to be faster. Even if you watch speedrunners that choose specific pathing, how many attempts did it take that speedrunner to get that path right? And how many times can they do it out of 10? I can guarantee 10 out of 10 times that if you go to the hangar and do the method I just showcased, you're going to complete it every time. We're now arriving to, in my opinion, the most important tip out of the whole video. This is something I've showcased on almost every single Cayo Perico heist video I post, and that is because it is so important for people to learn. If you watch the channel a lot, you already know what I'm about to showcase, but this is the pathing that you're going to want to take if you want to completely ignore all guards. You're going to follow this fence right in front of me, and then you're going to take a sharp left turn, you're going to take a sharp right turn, climb over the fence, and then you are going to simply wait right here. The reason you're going to wait is you're going to wait for this guard to turn away. Then once he turns away, you're going to pull out your AP pistol. You're going to run past him. You're going to run past this guard here, and you're going to start heading upstairs. Now, the reason you want your pistol out is not because you're going to kill somebody, but because you're going to whack them in the face. A guard's going to walk down these stairs, and you are simply going to punch them in the face. Sometimes the gate keys will be there, sometimes they won't. Gate keys don't matter. All you're going to do is make your way into the main compound. You're going to grab the safe money, and then you are going to obviously make your way downstairs. Yes, you have to complete one more hack, but it's not that big of a deal to complete just one extra hack. Depending on which mode you're playing on, it's still faster. When escaping the island, there are also mistakes that beginners make. The game tells you to escape wherever you set the location to be. So let's say that you set your escape location all the way over at the hangar. So that means you're going to have to go all the way from where you are, and El Rubio's compound is down here. So the game wants you to go from here all the way wherever the heck, all the way down here. Yep, follow the road. And then you're going to have to steal a plane, which means you have to go to this building to disable the air defenses and then take off. That's a lot of effort. That's going to take you at least 5 to 10 minutes to do that. Instead of doing all that effort, instead, you can simply go from El Rubio's compound right here at the main door, steal the motorcycle that spawns on this guard there, and then jump off this cliff right here. And then once you do that, just swim down the ravine that's like this location, and congratulations, you've beaten it. It takes literally 1 minute to do this, rather than, again, to drive all the way around here, all the way through here, all the way down, and then over there. And even if you choose to escape through the main dock or the north dock, it is still so much slower to steal a boat, kill a bunch of guards, than it is to obviously just jump off the island here. And that's kind of how it is. I'm not going to lie, I made a bit of a mistake and did alert the guards, but it's not too big of a deal. All you're going to do to escape the island is you're going to grab a motorcycle, and you are simply going to drive it off the edge of the island. We can see it on the mini-map here. Once you have done this, congratulations, you have beaten the Cayo Perico heist. Make sure to put on your rebreather. But that's it. Once you have jumped off this island here, all you need to do is follow this little ravine that kind of dips down. You can see that it cuts through here. And if you follow this ravine, after swimming about 1 minute, you will have completely beaten the heist. It's very little effort. You're not going to have to worry about anybody shooting you or killing you if you have alerted the guards. And that's about as simple as it gets. In terms of payout, I made $1 million for completing this, and that's without even getting the Elite Challenge and doing it on normal mode. So if you complete the Elite and you do it on hard mode, you're going to be making around $1.2 million in 40 minutes of effort. And we only had the Ruby Necklace, which is actually one of the lowest paying targets as it is. So at the end of the day, completing the Cayo Perico heist is not very hard, and honestly, the mistakes made are usually down to just first-time things. So, if you watched today's video and you learned something new, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.